My name is Andrei Marcu, and right now I'm the bar manager of Coupette London.
Name 3 cocktails that in your bar you think will be the best sellers in 2023.
We're not selling as many classics, to be honest, and we're going through a lot of our own cocktails. Actually, last year we sold 37,000 cocktails in 1 year.
Wow.
Which is a good volume, and that represents 96% of our sales. But the top 3 right now would be, we have a creme brulee old-fashioned on the menu, which is the best seller right now. Then champagne pina colada is still in top 3, but this is the first year we have managed to beat champagne pina colada, because this was a goal for us every year to, this became a bit of a classic worldwide and very well known, and people love it and they were always asking for it. And we never managed, with any menus we launched, we never managed to beat that drink in sales or request for popularity until this menu and until the creme brulee old fashioned. But also we have blossom martini, and we have that they're about the same amount. It's like very small differences. It's another drink which is a Ramos, but it's nuts for nuts. So it's all about different layers of nuts in a Ramos style drink.
You said 37,000 approximately, right? Cocktails?
37,000, yes.
Yeah. So for drink sales overall, let's say you sold 100,000 overall, drinks, servings. So what is a good percentage to achieve for a cocktail bar that you guys are aiming for?
So we're happy with what we do. As I said, our sales right now are 96% cocktails.
Oh, wow. Got it.
So, and then
Nice.
we have around 3% food, and then 1-2% more or less in everything else, which is spirits or beers or wines.
Fantastic.
We probably sell like 5 gin and tonics a week and a couple of bottles of wines.
Wow.
And everything else cocktails, which is insane.
So-
I always wanted to work in a bar that sells cocktails only,
So you are like as cocktail as you can go, right? Like, so let's say define a good cocktail bar.
For me, it's not even about the drinks. I think the drinks are just the cherry on the cake. It's all about, when I come in, for me, the time between the moment I stepped in and the moment someone realizes I stepped in and approaches me or acknowledges me, that's the most important part. We're trying to acknowledge people as soon as they stepped into the bar, even though the bar stations and the entrance are not like so close to one another, and sometimes it's very loud and very busy, but we still try to be like, hey guys, welcome, and acknowledge people and make them comfortable, and let them know that, hey, we see you and we're happy to have you. I think that's the most important part. And then it's everything that's to do with service, from water to coasters to the way the bartenders are, because I'm always trying to go out incognito and not being like, I'm industry, I don't like that, because I feel like that changes perception for bartenders, and they're gonna try to give a different service than they usually would, and I want to experience their own way of just serving me because I'm a guest, I think this is the most important part. And then after that, you have the lighting in the room. That's really important. It has to really suit the concept of the bar and the vibe. Then the music has to suit the concept of the bar and the vibe, and temperature. And then the last thing you care about is the drinks, or not care about, like I care about every detail, but the last thing you get to experience is the drink, and the impact that's made from the start of your night to the drinks is more important than the actual drink.
Apart from your bars, which are the top 3 cocktail bars that you really admire?
Oriole, for sure. I absolutely love that place, and I go there every time I can. Satan's Whiskers, just next door. Again, love the vibe, love the guys. Go there as often as I can. And then Scarf's Bar.
What is the most bizarre thing that you remember that a customer has told you at the bar?
I don't know about a bizarre thing that someone told me, but I know that the most bizarre thing I experienced, one-off, was I was behind the bar and I was making drinks the whole night, and I had a couple in front of me. They were just looked very, very fine, chatting and all, and they were on a date. And then at some point, one of them went to the toilet, and the other partner asked me if they should break up or not. And I was like a little shocked. And when I get shocked, my tendency is to either be sarcastic or make a joke. And I was like, yeah, I don't think you're a good match, but just in a very sarcastic way. And then the other partner came back, and they broke up by the end of the night. And I'm
my God.
Damn, I don't think I did the right thing here. But yeah, that was a bit of a bit of a weird situation, I guess.
That's fun. A last customer where you had a situation where they just wanted one more drink. I mean, and then you had to say, hey, we're closed. So give us a good tips, one or two nice ways to say, hey, we're done.
My favorite way of saying we're done is, sorry guys, but I don't have the license to say we anymore. And if you guys want to help us out, just go to the government or to Tower Hamlets and ask them for us to extend our license. And that's gonna be very helpful for us. And they can't complain about that because they live in the UK, and if they don't, they come from a place that they understand that rules and laws are hard to mess with in a first world country. So they never gonna be like, come on, man, but it's just me or something. They'll be like, okay, I get you.
Your go-to couple of interview questions that you ask, usually to audit a potential bartender.
I'm always trying to get to know those guys. When we do our interviews, I never put people behind the bar and ask them to make me drinks, because I don't care about that. Honestly, bartending is not such a hard job in terms of, yes, obviously you need a lot of practice and to gain that skill, and there is a lot of information, but I consider bartending as something that can be trained. It's not like singing, when you need to have a bit of a start. You need to have an okay voice to be able to grow and build around it. But with this, I can pick anyone from the street, and in 6 months I can make sure they can make a good drink, So for me, the most important is personality, what they like about bartending. I think that's one of my main questions, is if they want to do this job as a career or not, and what direction they want to take in their careers. And I'm always trying to explain them, even in the interviews, that hey, this is a bit like being a professional football player or basketball player, right? It has its limits in terms of age. It's very hard after a certain age to be 12 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours behind the bar, smashing drinks and running around and doing check after check after check and so on. So you gotta think, yes, I'm doing this now, but what's next? So I want to know what's next for them, so I can help them get there in any way I can.
So what's the next usually that you've seen? Obviously one thing is maybe work on the supply side that comes to my mind, selling spirits. But what are the 5 or 6 next moves that you've seen, after the first phase of bartending?
I think the most common one is moving into brands, being a brand ambassador, going into the sales side of the brand. I saw a lot of people recently moving into marketing companies from just straight from behind the bar, which is really cool to see, because I feel like marketing companies that they are sometimes too much of a company or too much of a, I know marketing and this is what to do. And for us bartenders, it seems quite fake at times when it doesn't have a real feeling. We're very real as people because we're hit by reality every day through chatting with people and hearing all the stories. And we're not behind the desk and we just see things on a screen. We are in person all the time and present all the time. So marketing, and then I saw a few people going into the content creation side right now, which is obviously a very growing market, and taking this photography, videography side. I saw a lot of people going even deeper into like the health and well-being, things like mental health and psychology, and getting either going to uni for that and then coming back and being a part or trying to bring those the information that they've learned in the uni and use it inside the hospitality community, which is really cool, and build a bit of a more healthy lifestyle for bartenders. So there are so many options, and that's the cool part about bartending, that you get to, there are so many sides and there is so much that you are linked with. You have paths. It's just a matter of what you like and what you want to do.
You know, what are the three things that you would do change in a bar to grow your profitability?
One thing that people don't keep in mind is like, yeah, I understand you want to make more money or you want to sell more and that you think this is going to give you profit, but if you sell more and yet your cost production is close to your sell price or sell point, then it's pointless. You can sell all the booze you have or all the food you have and you're never gonna make any money. So most important part is cost. You gotta keep your costs low, but the critical part is how do you keep your costs low without compromising on quality of product.
Correct.
Without compromising on paying the staff correctly, paying overtime and so on. That's the most important part. So that's where the balance has to be found first. Secondly, staff trainings. Your staff is the majority of what's happening inside the bar, is the soul or the core of your venue. Right? No matter if you're talking about restaurants or bar, and we're talking about chefs or waiters or sommeliers or bartenders, they are the soul and the core of the business. And how you train them and how you take care of them is gonna make an impact on your sales, right? If you sit down, which I do with my team every week, we have at least one sit down, one brief or debrief in which we just talk about what we need to change, what they like, what they dislike, what do they feel uncomfortable about. Trying to understand all their needs and also hear all their opinions and see what we can improve and how, And it's all about being open and transparent and involving them in your decisions, like day-to-day management decisions, because I find so many ideas coming from their minds that I did not even think about, Like, okay, that's very interesting and we should do that. Or I'm just like, nah, man, what's this about? That's not gonna work. But you have to chat, and then you're gonna realize like, oh wait, I only have like 2 jeans I can really upsell, and those guys are in service every day, so they just realize that. So maybe I should get a third one that's a different price level, and then we can upsell it even more. Or maybe I realize, hey, I didn't give them enough training on jeans, so they don't know what to upsell. So for me, those are the 2 most important parts. First is cost, second is the team, and how I treat them.